Hello, everyone. I'm Christina, and I'm popping on here a little bit late, but that's okay because I was helping out a couple of friends, and that's always a good thing. So, surprise, welcome to my abode and to this life. And for everyone who hasn't been here before, I hope you enjoy the show. Please subscribe, and I always love the comments. Please leave those, hit the thumbs up, drill. All right, so the name of tonight's video live is Prophecy is Now, Our World is Unraveling. And we see it. People are feeling the stress about it, all right? Hold on, hair in my mouth. Okay. So, where darkness comes in, we got to also always remember God is near. Okay, so we see everything starting to culminate. So we're going to talk about a few of the things that have been going on in the last 11 days since I spoke to you last. All right, but I did want to make a little comment. Did y'all notice on the last video that when I started reading Bible verses, that's exactly when the static came on. That's exactly. I'm like sitting here wondering, is that going to keep happening when I'm reading Bible verses? Just something I'm just watching for. Okay, because really, the Bible is first and foremost a testament of God. That's right. So that's powerful, spiritually powerful, right? Word of our testimony, blood of the Lamb, the Bible. Darkness can't take it. All right, we are alive. I need you to remember that no matter what's going on, is we're alive. We're going to take this one day at a time, one step at a time, because it's not all happening like as fast as some people might have thought that it would have happened. We've been living day to day, watching these birth pains, right? And the Bible spoke, saying that in the last days, perilous times would come. And I'll be doggone, we are. All right. First of all, the wars and the rumors of war are really in your face right now. That's a Bible prophecy. You can look at Matthew 24. It's just one of the places for sure. But, Paul and Adrian, they do tend to keep that covered. They keep us up to date pretty regularly. Stone the Crows, she was great about really getting me in a lot of information about the flooding that had been taking place recently in Australia. While on the other side of the world, we've been having this Texas heat wave. And I call it Texas heat wave because it was, because I live here. But I'm not the only one who's been going through a heat wave. I mean, this heat wave's been affecting people as far north as like Indiana and stuff. They were talking about how high their temperatures are. Okay. And the other night, it was like, I don't know, less than a week ago, the power went out. And I was fortunate because it went out like at 10:30 at night, but it didn't come on until 4. But it was so hot. Even though it was nighttime temperatures, it was like 85, 86 degrees, and nobody could sleep. And my batteries were at 50% when all this happened, which kind of showed me, hey, Christina, you need to keep a better eye on these batteries, because that's what they're there for, is when you least expect things to happen. And the way that they're talking about these rolling outages as they can come, they're warning, we are kind of experiencing them in Houston, North Houston metro area type thing. There are these little outages that are happening. Mostly the power's staying on though, but oh man, it was so hot. I didn't even have my phone charged up. I have been getting complacent with watching my battery, so I wanted to say, hey, make sure if you got backup batteries, certain backup things you need, that you kept everything up on the up and up, because we really never know nowadays when a disaster is going to hit us. Recently, it'll tell us it's not going to rain, and it will. It'll tell us it is going to rain, and it won't. Okay, that's really how it's going. Let's check the chat real quick. Hello, AA Strumming, Cowboys 8 Panel. And How to Garden. It's good to see everybody. Is Adrienne here too? There she is. All right, great to see everybody. Good, we got 31 people and 11 thumbs up. That's so great. That's so great. All right, all right. Now, tomorrow, Monday, they're saying, wait, no. That's for the trains. Yeah, that we might have less. This is a might have less trains running in just a few hours as the daylight comes up. They've also been talking about taking 70,000 California truckers off the road. Oh yeah, all of this is just culminating into one big spit wad. All right. Yes, the world is unraveling. That's how the end of an age is. Things have to be undone, and a new chapter or a new time, newness, something new in the world of time, age, is going to come. But everything else is going to have to go away. It's going to have to. And the Lord says it'll happen by fire. And I don't know about y'all, but these temperatures are so hot. Okay, literally, when it finally did rain around here, because we hadn't had it for weeks, the streets steamed for hours because it wasn't just hot coming out of the sky. It had beaten down into the ground so far and so hot. I'm not kidding. All right. Now, July 12th, a crop loss article came out from Farm Journal Ag Web Crop Production. It's called USDA's July report now shows drought could trigger third largest loss of acres in a major U.S. crop, right? So there will be famine in the last days, right? That's right. It said it in the seals, and it said in Matthew 24, and I'm pretty sure some other places. Okay, but here's an article from July 12th, just this month. It says, the July World Agricultural Supply and Demand estimates from USDA isn't a major market moving report historically. And the latest report was no different, with no major surprises in USDA's latest adjustments to balance sheets. So they're saying there's no surprise here, even though it's probably bad, all right? It shows higher U.S. corn supplies and ending stocks. No, oh, wait, this is weird. It's saying that corn production increased on more acres. But it says shrinking soybean forecasts. Where's the cotton? Cotton prices have been in free fall. See, none of this matches the title, first of all. I guess I should have read this article. It's saying as wheat supplies, larger wheat, all of this looks way wrong to me. I hope it's right, but we're just going to nix this article for now. Sorry about that, you guys. The title, I think, was a little misleading. Hello, Clarissa. All right. Well, you can see there are contradictive articles out there that say, hey, we got some crop problems. And a lot of YouTubers and farmers keep up with this, and they're saying it's bad. So if this article is trying to say, oh, it's fine, everything is fine, I wouldn't listen to that. I just wouldn't. I just wouldn't swallow that egg right now. Okay. All right. But one thing we do know for sure is that on July 14th, Hungary declares an energy emergency. 3 days later, around half of France's nuclear power plants, they're down. July 18th, that's with the trains, that might go down. But we also got to hear about these public service announcements for nuclear prepping. I told y'all, saw something like this. I told y'all a few times in different videos over time that this was coming, along with, problems with food banks just before that. So it doesn't surprise me now that they're saying it in New York, but it spread to New Jersey. And the thing is, people are like, oh, could they be jumping the gun? Or are they just freaking people out? No, wait, hold on. Let me tell you something. The government isn't really in the business of warning you. Typically, they won't. Not if there's a meteor coming, not really anything they're not going to tell you. So the fact that they've told you. I mean, think about it. If you know for a fact this city is so crowded, and they probably would only have minutes to try to do something, right? That would mean basically nobody's getting out. So what would really benefit them to put a service announcement out there right now? It means get out while you can. That's what that means. Leave, because at some point it's going to be like it was too late to charge my batteries. It's going to be too late. You ain't getting out. No, not really. No. Nope. Not if the sirens are already going off. You don't have time. It don't matter where you are. You're just, but if you're in New York City or you're anywhere, because you got to imagine though, if somebody's going to do something like that, there's going to be multiple cities under siege. There's got to be. That would be what makes sense. Hold on just a second. All right. And we've heard people like Dimitri Duduman talk about what cities would burn, right? Saying that they were worse than Sodom and Gomorrah and everything. Hello, Veronica Mormon, Robin. Hello, Paula. Claire said you had some organic corn the other day. It had a grow. Oh, that's sad because I love corn on the cob with some butter and some salt. For real. Oh, man. Well, at least the chickens enjoyed it. Okay. All right. All right. So what else have we had to be stressed out about lately? Okay. Because, these are stressful times, but even Jesus said just, what did he say? It was Matthew 24. See that you be not troubled. He said that, saying just be cool. Be cool. I'm paraphrasing, of course. They didn't say that back in the day. That be cool. But he's saying, hey, be cool. We got to learn to deal with what we're seeing emotionally. We've got to be able to maintain and take that next step. Okay, we're seeing a lot of this coming at us, but we just need to take it one day at a time. All right, and when you're feeling stressed, be sure to be thankful for what you do still have. All right, okay, and right now we still have time. All right, every day is a new day. Every day is a miracle. Alrighty. Okay, July 15th, Serbian president warns that Putin is about to make West an offer they better not refuse. Sounds pretty scary there, right? Wars and rumors of wars, but some tells me Putin is very serious. Like I told y'all months ago when they started this whole thing with Ukraine, I said they're just getting their toes wet. They're just getting practicing for what's going to end up coming over here one day. And right now, they are not playing with any country over there. None of them. They're going at it steady. They have not quit. They're, from what I hear, getting worse and worse. Like they're getting really good at taking over things and destroying things, okay? Making threats, going through with them. All right. So while that's all happened, some people might have missed the fact that Israel's government collapsed, Sri Lanka's government collapsed, and now Italy's government collapsed. That's all been recent. Okay. And speaking of Israel, July 7th, all this was leading up to this trip that happened recently where Joe Biden went to the Middle East to talk to a lot of different leaders with a few main issues on the plate. One, his support of a two-state solution. It did not happen. They didn't do that two-state solution, but there was a Jerusalem declaration signed saying that they promised to do negotiations for a two-state solution in the future, which I'm betting won't be that far away. All right, but it all started July 7th. We're meeting with a boss, and it is a rare meeting to have with him and Gantz ahead of Biden's arrival in the Middle East. Okay, so there all of a sudden there's a lot of butt kissing going on. There's a lot of, hey, how are you doing, old buddy, kind of talk, when all we've heard is some petty bickering for decades. All of a sudden, a boss is having meetings. He's all excited. He's also met by phone with Lapid, the new, and Israel's new prime minister, Abbas. They're talking on the phone right off the bat. Things look like they're really chummy. Okay. Blinken from the United States congratulates the new prime minister. So when you're looking at this all going on, Biden hasn't even made it to Israel yet, and you're seeing this. And of course, they have to say U.S.'s commitment to Israel's security is unwavering. That's what Blinken says. But it's about Israel's security, okay? And what are we leading up to? That's that Second Thessalonians prophecy, peace and security, right? So they want peace in the Middle East between the Palestinians and Israel, and they want security for Israel. Okay, so that was definitely on the menu. They're already, it's being talked about. But wouldn't you know it, as Biden is landing in Israel, boom, an earthquake happens. Okay, in Israel, near Galilee. All right, we already know God's like tapping his finger. Better watch it. He's watching. He watches. You know why? Because that's the apple of his eye. I mean, literally, it's right there. He can see it. It's driving him crazy. But what people didn't, I don't think they put this together right. I'm pretty sure it was the same day. If he went in, he went in on the 13th. Well, on the 13th, a wild storm hit Maryland and DC. That same day. Maryland and DC. It was the East Coast. They're talking about making East Jerusalem part of, so the fact that it was happening to the East Coast and DC, and they're talking about a consulate in East Jerusalem for the Palestinians. It was just kind of interesting, not just that the storm hit, but that an actual home was split in half, literally. It just seemed like God's like, you know what I'll do? You know what I will do if you divide this land. He's like, it'll be like this. You see this house? It is in two pieces. This is what I will do. All right, now 100 homes were lost in this. 0 fatalities, praise God. Okay, but Biden shows up in Israel, and it was surreal to me. He literally got the red carpet treatment as he's getting off, and the new prime minister is walking him to his place, and they're fist bumping. And one of the first things he says is, I support the two-state solution. I'm paraphrasing, but that's basically what he said. All right. They start saying this thing, this Hebrew couple of words called Tikkun Olam. Means repairing the world. I don't know what they mean by that, but I guess we'll just have to keep an eye out, because some things can be about perception. It might mean one thing, but the way a person can perceive how they're going to proceed with that could be dark. We'll have to keep an eye on that. But Biden received a medal too. I mean, can you just kiss it any harder, okay? Kind of choke on the skin if you don't get back a little bit. But they gave him a medal. What for? I have no idea. None. But they did. Okay. So, next thing you know, Biden and Abbas decide they're going to take a meeting on Friday in Bethlehem where Jesus was born. Oh, man. I'm like, golly, this is just so, what's the word I'm looking for? Heretic. It's just apostasy. A senior Palestinian official in Ramallah expressed outrage over the signing of the Israeli-U.S. declaration, but said Friday's meeting would not be canceled. That was the Jerusalem Post. Now, the 15th came. Now, what I found interesting here is when he met Abbas and he advocated for a two-state solution. But what was interesting is he warmly shook hands with Abbas, whereas he fist bumped everybody else in the Israel part. But when it came to Palestine, they'd taken down the Israel flag. But he also shook the hands, like openly shook these hands. There was none of this fist bumping. So if body language tells you anything about where President Biden's heart really lies, you could see it in his body language. And y'all know about body language, all right? So before he ends up leaving this place, he's saying words like peace, security, prosperity, freedom, and democracy. Peace and security, obviously. Biden announced $100 million in aid for Palestinians, which is funny because 100 homes were lost on the east side, but there's $100 million in aid for Palestinian medical projects based in the capital of Israel, which is Jerusalem. Okay, so he decides he's going to go to Saudi Arabia. Well, it turned out that time wasn't only not right for negotiations with dividing Israel and Jerusalem, it also wasn't right for him getting any oil from Saudi Arabia. This man has been looking everywhere for oil except for using our own. And everybody's got to wonder why. Why? Why do you keep going over there and taking all these no's when we've got it right here? Don't act like you don't need that jet fuel, all right, for your Air Force One. All right. So yeah, they didn't have negotiations. They have a promise to. They had handshakes and fist bumps and aid, financial aid. And they talked about Iran too, saying diplomacy won't work anymore. But I mean, it never really did with them, did it? I mean, it's like, what do you expect? Hi there, Rage Against the Machine, EJ444. Okay, Robin, I live in the city concerned where to get clean water. Duck pond, I'm too old for all this. That's a good question. It really is. You could try Life Straw. That might be able to help you. They've even got them where they have like a little baggie that holds the water as you can pump it out with a hand pump too. It's like $20 or something on Amazon or wherever you want to search for it on their website, however that goes. Hello, MG. Get out of the cities. Let's bake bread, store water. I'm like, seriously was thinking maybe I should put my pan of biscuits, uncooked biscuits in my car and see if they'll like actually cook in there because it gets so hot. I'm like seriously thinking of doing that. Robin, you couldn't sleep. I know. I was honestly, Robin, I was having trouble eating knowing that this Israel trip was going to happen because I didn't know. I mean, we got Russia warning us, and I always felt like this peace deal with Israel that happens in Russia happened about the same time. So I was like, oh gosh, if this is it. But we see a lot of other things besides that going on. I mean, these shipments are basically, the shipping crisis is just basically a broken shipping system now. It's just falling apart, okay? Cogs are breaking, hitting other parts, and it's breaking. The whole thing's about to blow up in our faces, Okay? Now, also what I thought was interesting because, we did have this trip to Israel, talk about a two-state solution. Everybody's on board with it. And you know what I think is going to happen around the time they do? It's like Gulf of Mexico disaster. It will happen. I was like watching all the earthquake maps. I couldn't eat. Oh man. All right. But they want to build abortion clinics in the Gulf of Mexico. I know at least one. They're talking about it. I'm sitting here going, check that out. That's not going to end up being the safest place to build one of your clinics. I can promise everybody that. What an interesting thing. It's like you try to flee, but you fall into the pit kind of thing. Gulf of Mexico ain't going to save nobody. Bible verse, Proverbs 14:12. I wonder if it gets staticky. There are ways that seem right unto man, but the ways thereof always lead to death. And that's where we are in this world. There's no adherence to the God's code of conduct, right? A lot of people aren't carrying their cross. They're acting like somebody else. So they're going on their feelings, what they think, not what's fact, what they think and what they feel. And when they go off of that, they make decisions that are really just all about how it's self-centered, really. It might not have anything to do with fact. No, no. Just how you feel. And that's how people are going. They're letting their emotions control them instead of controlling their emotions. And a lot of us do tend to do that sometimes. You cannot let your emotions control you. That's how you get thrown off your game. That's when you make really bad decisions and get clumsy, all right? Maintain, because you're going to see these things. You need to be aware ahead of time that you're going to be stressed out. Maintain, all right? Okay? Because we've embarked on these perilous times, but God's got us, okay? You need to think about something. This is history. We had David and Goliath, World War I and II, all right? Walls of Jericho that came tumbling down. These people were our ancestors. These were hard times that people went through. We're going to have to be more like them. We're going to have to remember that it took many battles to win the war, but we had to be there to fight, okay? And it starts inside of us. We're gonna make our grandparents proud. We're gonna make, hopefully, our descendants proud. All right, so don't let this get you so stressed out, thinking about too much. Even Jesus says, let tomorrow worry for itself. Yes, you should prepare and everything, but this whole stress thing, until we just like brought our guts out with stress, we shouldn't let that happen, because everything is really in God's hands, isn't it? Our lives, us, our family, right? So we can't be spending our time looking at what used to be. Things are changing. They will continue to change, and they will never be what they were 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 50. Those days are gone. We've got to face everything, what it's happening, okay? Because see, we're going to end up fighting together. We're going to bleed together. We're going to climb that mountain together, and we're going to do it step by step, one step at a time. We're going to do it one day at a time with God, holding on to Him, okay? That's how we're going to get through. So I wanted to give you that encouragement and let you know, hey, you don't have to worry about every single day and every single thing that's going to happen way ahead of time. You got enough to stress you out as it is, right? Don't let yourself get overwhelmed. Just do what you can. That's all you can do. We go until we can't go anymore. Hello, it's Stone the Crow's here. Awesome. So glad to see you again. That's right. Stay human, Rage Against the Machine. Because we're about to be a rare breed. Okay, we got others here now. And I'm talking the fallen. Everybody's getting on the playing field. Still got some masks on, but that ain't going to last either for very long. So glad. Hello, Dunamis 333, Dan, Jim. Love you all, my brothers and sisters. Love you too, Jim. Yes, yes, yes. God bless you, Dan. Hello, Truth Seeker. Train workers might be going on strike. Yes, 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 yes. All right. So I'm sorry it was 11 days, but honestly, I was watching Israel like a hawk. I was like, I was about to be calling my daddy. Come up and see me quick. Come hang out with us for a few days. But nothing too major happened, but I was watching. I was a little worried about it. Try to get on here about once a week, but it is getting late, and I love you guys. I'm so glad that all of you came, and I will definitely talk to you soon. Good night.